Hey folks, quick disclaimer about Greasy Says, my new show about being a game developer for 15 years who's brown. Okay, Greasy Says contains explicit language, adult situations, and viewer discretion is strongly advised. Right? Greasy Says is supposed to be a comedic take on what it's like to be in the gaming industry from my perspective, but I'm not out here trying to make people feel uncomfortable just for the sake of it. So, to sum it up, I have a potty mouth. Don't let your kids listen to this shit. And kings and queens above 18 only. Let's try that. All right? Lay is...
Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the professional.
Greasy Says.
I've started this episode like 3 different times already. 3 different times. Each time sucked. But this time, I have a good feeling about it. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning. How are you? My name is Greasy, a.k.a. M-Cue. And I would love to welcome you to another episode of Greasy Says. Greasy Says, the greatest video game podcast, rambling podcast on the planet, even in the metaverse. My job as the Greasy King, is to say to you, to reach out to you people in the metaverse, to reach through the blockchain into your ears and fill your minds with the greasiness. On Greasy Says, we explore the video game industry, the trials and tribulations that I've been through in the video game industry as a brown man, as a single brown man. A lot of toxicity in the industry, as we are seeing revealed quite often these days, don't you think? And Greasy Says, I explore all of the aspects of being a brown person in the video game industry, all the challenges. I try to help people out. I try to answer questions. If you're young, you're trying to get into the games industry, listen to Greasy. Because you know what? I'm not going to fill your head with lies, doggy. I only come with truths. Roof. I'm just playing, y'all. But that is the point of Greasy Says. Talk about the video game industry, make fun of the industry of fun because it's a pretty ridiculous industry, but it's a magical industry, and I want to help all my chocolate butter pecan Ricans, all of y'all out there who are entering or who are in the gaming industries, who are vets, how to survive. Let's share our stories. Let's get this shit right. Let's pass it on to the youth. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a youth out there who's interested in getting into games, send them an episode of Greasy Says. It'll help them out. There's a train outside. Why is there a train? The train knows I'm trying to record right now. So just change the schedule. I'm sorry, y'all. The train went by. Tell your kids about Greasy Says. Not your young kids. I mean your older kids who are in college trying to get jobs and games and shit like that, and they want a perspective. Share it with them. Don't send it to fucking little Derek, who's 5. Okay? Because you're going to hear a lot of words that he should not hear. I don't want that to happen. What's going on lately in video game world? I mean, I just looked this shit up. Here we go. Right here on fucking Polygon. Activision Blizzard workers walk out. They call for the CEO, Bobby Kotick's resignation. Nation. What y'all think about that? Workers calling for this fucker to go down. Do you think it's gonna happen? I mean, I called all kind of shit on this investigation so far, and some of it I've been right on, some of it I've been dead fucking wrong on. I didn't think it would come to this. They'd be calling for Bobby Kotick's head? That's crazy. I very much appreciate that. Keep doing your thing, workers. Loving it, ActBlizzy workers. Keep doing that. Another interesting thing about this article is it says former Blizzard co-leader Jen O'Neill. I called out Jen O'Neill back in some episode. It must have been the ActBlizzy episode. Go back and find out. It might have been like episode 10, 11, 12, something like that. Jen O'Neill, who I said had eyes. When I look into her eyes, I see Mordor. She resigned. She resigned after she reportedly lost faith that the company could turn around its toxic culture. Fucking Jen O'Neill. Jen, you dodged a bullet, Jen. You dodged a fucking bullet. Good for you. I wonder what you're doing now. I mean, she's probably not hurt. She's gonna be all right. To resign, you gotta be all right. But I kind of salute her to walking away from that situation. Probably a little bit of self-preservation in there, but also it appears from the outside that she's woke. Maybe. We'll see. Another funny thing about this whole ActBlizzy walkout thing. It says here, I find it kind of funny. It says here, what does it say? I don't know, I can't find it right now, but it said workers walk out both in the office and working from home. How do you walk out of a job that you work from home at? Do you just leave your house? Like, I ain't going home. Fuck this, I ain't going home. I ain't getting nothing to eat. I'm boycotting my own house. How do you walk out from work from home? I guess you just leave your desk, but like, maybe you just jump on YouTube and spend the rest of the day watching YouTube. Is that a walkout right there? Are you doing your part? I don't know. I guess you're hurting productivity, which is part of the point. You want to hurt their productivity so that they pay attention, because when they start losing money, that's when people pay attention. That's how you hurt these big companies. You take away their money. So bravo to people not working from home in support of this walkout. But it's hilarious. I mean, like, do you like take the clothes off that you're wearing in your home office and change into like pajamas and go outside? Because, you know, you walking out. So you gotta leave all that shit behind.
Get the dog. Get the hamsters. We're getting out of here.
I don't know. I got questions.
Don't forget the python in the back. Well, are you really about that life? Are you really about that life? Well, then go get the python. Go get it.
So here's an interesting thing. Back in maybe like episode 2, plumbers don't wear ties or can actually wear ties or whatever the hell I called that episode, I basically tried to destroy plumbers, coders. I call coders plumbers because they do the same thing as a plumber, and they're just as ornery as a plumber. So back then I was trashing coders and comparing them to plumbers, and, you know, also kind of relating of like, I understand why you're an asshole, because you basically have to plumb the game, and like, plumbing sucks. It's not an enjoyable job, which is why plumbers are dicks. So here's a first-hand account of something that happened to me recently. My wife, my amazing, beautiful wife, she's the family plumber, all right? Except when it comes to certain things, she's the family plumber. My wife does not shy away from hard work, which is why she's the shit. She'll get down there and do some manual labor and fucking push a lawnmower and fucking do some plumbing, okay? So my wife decides that the flushing valve on our toilet is shitty and it's making too much noise, right? Which it was, right? My baby's room is right next to it. She wanna make the shit more quiet. So she choose to take a day to fix this toilet valve. I come back, I'm like, I see you there. I'm like, hey, you fixing this thing today? That's cool. She has all the tools laid out and everything. I come back like an hour later and the whole toilet's apart. The tank is on the ground. There's shit all over the place.
Not actual shit.
And I walk in, I'm like, hey, what's going on? You getting work done? And my wife looked at me with such fire, such venom in her eyes. I could feel my skin boiling as she stared at me. She peered a hole right through the center of my torso. All I said was, hi, how's it going? But the act of plumbing had driven my wife to near insanity. She was so annoyed because she had been bent over and crunched over in this weird fucking position, working with tools that barely work. She didn't know how to use a fucking, some kind of pliers. It's like one of those pliers that like slide, you can adjust it. It's not like a traditional wrench. Anyway, it'll come back to me what the name of these pliers are.
Channel lock pliers.
So she's down there working on all this stuff. Stuff's not working out. The gasket isn't fitting properly. She can't get it out of the tank properly. She's frustrated as shit. And she snapped on me. She just gave me that look. And instead of getting mad, instead of trying to defend myself, I thought to myself, this is what a coder goes through. This is why plumbers are dicks. This work is hard. This work is painful. This work is thankless. She's gonna put together this entire toilet, right? She's gonna work real hard all day on this fucking toilet, fix the valve, put the tank back on, screw everything in, turn on the water, boom, 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 flush, test, do all this, put the chain on, all that. And then no one will ever know of the work she did. No one will ever appreciate it because it's inside the fucking tank. No one's gonna go looking inside the tank to see, ooh, what's going on in here? It's a thankless job. It's a job with there's no, what's the word? There's no glory in it. So like imagine being a plumber, a coder, and you're coding all this shit to make the game work. But no one will ever see it. No one will ever appreciate that you busted your ass to create code that works very efficiently. Or you did a great job, or you made the shit, tight. Like, so if another coder looked at your work, they'd be like, damn, you're good. But no one else would ever know. Which is why plumbers stick together, and which is why coders stick together, and which is why plumbers are, pricks, and why coders are pricks. But I can't blame you guys and gals. I get it. I understand now. Because when I saw my wife turn on me like that, like an alley cat, like a mangy alley cat on me, ready to scratch my fucking eyes out, I thought back to my own plumbing escapades and understood and saw from that perspective. I was empathetic to the suffering of the plumber. Still think you guys are a bunch of... Uh-oh. But I'm coming over to your side, slowly but surely. Perspective is a powerful thing. So my buddy sends me this video. What up, Jay? About San Andreas. There's a new Grand Theft Auto remastered where they released 3 of the games, all quote-unquote remastered. But the video that my boy sent me was exposing that basically Rockstar may, I'm not saying they did, but they may have used the mobile version of San Andreas and ported that for the remaster. And apparently there's a bunch of evidence, like the way the certain textures are used, certain diffuse textures are used, the way the rain looks suggests that they didn't actually remaster the original San Andreas. They just took a shitty port, because when you go from a console to a phone, that's a shitty port. Sometimes, most of the time, let's face facts. You gotta down-res the game. You gotta do a lot of stuff to kind of reduce the game size and performance. So this video suggested that they took that port and just let AI do the port to the remastered, up-res everything and do that work. Not fucking far-fetched. Go back and listen to my AI episode, and this is possible. I think ports are able to be done by AI, especially if it's just up-resing. That's something a computer can do. Look at this file. Okay, change this to this, run this thing on it, and boom, 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 boom. It could be just a series of actions in a program. So you could make a bot do that for you. And the jackasses at the top of Rockstar, they don't give a fuck about the quality of this thing. They're just like, yo, this is free money. We printing money right here. There's a game done. We hit a button on a computer, and it does most of the work. And we don't have to pay a bunch of people to actually remaster this thing properly. Hell yeah, sign me up, dog. When's fucking lunch? So yeah, that video was very helpful. Thank you, Jay. I don't know if I believe it wholeheartedly or not, because I wasn't on the floor there. But I wouldn't put it past Rockstar to do some shit like that, especially as they try to stack money to make their next fucking game, which is going to be way, way, way over budget. Plus, you got to pay for that marketing. Woo. Woo, woo. All right, before we kick it off, before we start the show, just want to tell y'all that I am on the social medias under Greasy Says. That's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can find my music on Bandcamp and Spotify under the name M-Cue, M-C-U-E, M-Cue. So please, like, subscribe, favorite, comment, do all that stuff on social media. Tell me you like the show, tell me you hate the show, tell me I'm ugly, tell me I'm beautiful. Let's go.
Today's key is today's key is today's key.
Criminal. Not looking out for myself, it's so criminal.
Who's got a question?
Hey, Greasy, what's the secret to work-life balance?
When I was giving my talk at Boston Postmart, go back and check out that episode. During the QA section, I was asked a question. The question was about how better to balance work and life. This is an issue that's super close to my heart. As an immigrant, my work ethic is off the charts. I'm gonna just say it straight out. You ever had a Jamaican auntie?
Yeah.
You ever see a Jamaican auntie not working?
No.
Exactly. You ever had a Haitian nurse?
Yeah.
You ever see that Haitian nurse slacking or taking a day off? Hell fucking nah.
Yeah, true.
I don't know why islanders and non-Americans tend to have stronger work ethic, but I do know that a strong work ethic can often get in the way of your actual life. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't work your ass off. If you've broken into the gaming industry and you want to prove yourself and you want to pull out all the stops and learn as much as you can in the shortest amount of time, you're going to have to grind. And you're going to grind. You're going to put in as much work as you need to push yourself forward, to impress your peers, and to move your career forward. These are great traits to have as a worker and as an entrepreneur. But when the desire to chase the work overwhelms the desire to live a healthy life, that's when we're going to need the balance on it.
Balance pan it. Greasy show you how to balance pan it. Balance pan it. Greasy show you how to balance pan it. Balance pan it. Greasy show you how to balance pan it. Balance pan it. Greasy show you how to balance pan it.
Work-life balance is more of a state of mind than a series of actions, in my opinion. Without a dedication to this discipline, you can fail at it just like you could fail at your job if you didn't have the dedication you needed to do that. You have to put in the time and effort in order to achieve that balance. All right, some examples. Let's say it's 8 p.m.
Oh, it's 8 p.m. already?
You've had a long, stressful day, putting out fires,
Yeah.
making sure producers feel secure,
I did.
getting tons of work done in between
Ain't
meetings,
that the truth?
piling into your transportation of choice, making the trip home, making that mental switch from work to home. You grab some food, you check your feeds on your phone, you throw on Netflix,
Hey.
you sit back. Halfway through an episode of Squid Game,
love this show.
you get a notification on your phone. It's a chat notification from Kenneth.
What does Kenneth want?
Without thinking, you click on the notification, which opens Discord, and you discover that Kenneth, who decided to work late tonight for some reason, has a question for you regarding your design choice on the spec that you wrote. Being such a gracious fuck that you are, you take the time to converse with Kenneth, alleviating most of his fears and internalizing the majority of his feedback. You tell Kenneth, thanks for your input, and that he's giving you plenty to think about.
Got it right up here.
And you'll catch up with him tomorrow to follow up on your late night convo.
All right, see you later, Kenneth.
No big deal, right? A quick 5 to 10 minute back and forth on Discord. It didn't take much of your night away, did it? No. Now we get back to Squid Game. Here we go.
This show is fucked up.
But as you watch more desperate Squid Game players meet an unfortunate end, Kenneth's comments rattle around in the back of your mind. Ideas start blooming in your head, and your creative brain continues to grind away subconsciously. Eventually, You pause Squid Game entirely mid-episode and you bust out your tablet to start altering the spec. You end up spending the next hour changing the spec to reflect the conversation that you had with Kenneth. Guess what? Now it's 10 p.m. Do you see what the fuck Kenneth just did? Do you see how Kenneth took away your free time? Do you see, more importantly, how you allowed Kenneth to take away your free time? Now, next time Kenneth is working late night and has a pressing question for you, he won't hesitate to reach out on Discord long after office hours. This is the first line of defense against work-life balance issues. If you don't respect your own boundaries, no one else will. Turning off notifications and turning on Do Not Disturb mode on your phone is dead simple nowadays. And there's a reason that it's so simple. It's because so many people fall victim to the Kenneths at their workplace. Kenneth is not even doing well himself, by the way. Kenneth should be out socializing, perhaps eating out at a new restaurant or heading to the gym to get that physical release we all so desperately need.
I don't feel like it.
Kenneth is a victim of his own poor work-life balance.
No, I'm not.
And Kenneth is infectious.
Okay, that's just offensive.
That's the danger with not having boundaries with your work and personal life. You can allow people with poor work-life balance to infect your otherwise balanced practices. Kenneth doesn't mean to do it. And most of your workplace buds aren't trying to ruin your evening, but their inability to separate themselves from their work brings them scratching to the gates.
Nobody home, fucko!
This is something I tell most of the young developers I meet who ask about work-life balance. You have the tools. Set Do Not Disturb on your Slack or your Discord. Turn off notifications and don't check your email after a certain time. This also goes for mornings before work, by the way. Your mornings are just as important as your evenings. If you start your day trying to solve problems at work while at the same time neglecting your own mental and social needs, you'll likely do the same fucking thing when the day ends. And the cycle continues on and on and on. I've deleted Outlook. Personally, I've deleted Outlook. I've deleted Slack and any other productivity program from my phone when I'm on vacation. It doesn't even matter if I'm fucking staycationing. I could be sitting in my underwear with my fucking shitty old man legs, wearing the shortest shorts I could possibly find, watching back-to-back episodes of fucking Gravity Falls or some shit, literally adding nothing to society, nothing to humanity, and I'll still shun every single fucking email that I see until my vacation is over. I know what you're thinking. If you're not actively participating in an activity or some cool event, then what's the big deal about answering a couple emails? Especially if it's going to reflect well on your professionalism. But I say fuck professionalism. If the people writing that email had an ounce of professionalism, they would respect my vacation boundaries. You see where the fuck I'm going with this? Work-life balance is about breaking a cycle. It's about breaking a toxic cycle to your mental health and replacing it with a healthy cycle. It's about showing your coworkers and bosses that you respect and care for yourself. It shows you take pride in yourself and you have more going on besides working at a company. I think it makes you just a sexier person in general, to be honest. And with time, people will start noticing the difference it makes in you. You'll be happier. You'll be slower to anger. You won't be as reactionary, and you will have greater respect for other people's time. And frankly, respect for people's time is the ultimate practice of professionalism. So respect your own time, and the balance will follow. There's some red flags out there, like y'all should keep an eye out for to realize that your work-life balance is shit. Okay? Boom. If people hitting you up all hours of the night on your fucking cell phone or in your emails or whatever, asking you questions about some shit you're making, some game you're working on, your shit is fucked up. You need to make a change. You need to start telling these people that you aren't available after a certain amount of time or whatever. If you coming in early every day and leaving late every day, you got issues. I understand you trying to prove yourself. I understand you trying to grind, like I said, but you don't need to grind that hard. Let me tell you a little story, a personal story. This one time, I'm working on a project. I'm grinding. I'm trying to move up. This is when I was younger. I'm trying to move up. I'm trying to put my best foot forward. So I'm putting in the time. I stepped to this dude because there is a vacancy that I can see in the organization. And I put forward to this guy who was the lead on the project at the time, right? And I'm telling them that, listen, I really want to be sort of a creative powerhouse, a creative leader in this company. And what can I do to kind of push myself forward? Can you give me any tips? Can you even vouch for me? Can you put my name out there because I'm trying to get ahead? Can you help me out? You know what this motherfucker said to me? He's like,
You need to just work more hours. Just work way more hours.
and that's how you get ahead. That's how you get noticed. Do you understand how fucking flippant and ridiculous that statement is? That advice, you can't even call that advice. You can't even call that advice. The way to get ahead is to just work more hours. Suppose you're working more hours in the wrong thing. Suppose you're doing the wrong thing for more hours. Suppose no one even fucking notices. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you tell somebody. That's not advice. That's not career advice. Just work harder and longer hours, you fucking prick. That is horrible advice to give to someone. You give them pointers on how to get ahead. Here's how you move politically. Here is how you get involved with these people, schmooze with these people, fucking network with these people. Here's who you need to talk to. Bounce ideas off of this person because they're receptive to ideas. Don't just tell me to work more fucking hours, you fucking... Jesus Christ, I gotta blaze one. Just thinking about this stupid fucking guy and his stupid fucking comment really fucking drives me up the wall, guys. The truth is, I didn't do that. He told me to work more hours and I didn't. I thought that advice was complete bullshit and I still made it ahead. And I still got where I needed to go without destroying my work-life balance because this stupid fuck had this dumbass fucking piece of advice. Don't listen to everybody, y'all. Especially when it comes to your own personal growth. You don't need to listen to everybody. Do what's right for you. Do what's right for your balance. You get me? Fucking hell. If you waking up in the middle of the night and you're solving problems for the game you're working on, or you're thinking about how much work you have to do tomorrow, that is a red fucking flag. Right? If your sleep is being affected by your work at all, you have poor work-life balance, period. If you haven't seen one of your closest friends for months because you've been crunching on this game or grinding, self-imposed crunch on this game, you have an issue. There is no game that is that important. There is no game more important than talking to real people and making real connections out in the real world with your real friends, not your work friends. Sure, some of your work friends are cool and y'all hang out outside of work, but there's other people too. There's other people in your life that existed before you started working in games. And those are the relationships that you need to foster, that you need to pay attention to. The game's going to be there in the morning. In fact, I'll go one step further. Don't even give nobody on your team your personal phone number. For real. A lot of companies, they want you to add your little cell phone number, your home number, whatever, to their database so they can get in contact with you or whatever. But you don't need to be giving that shit to everybody on your team. Nobody needs to know your personal number. So guess what? When the ship blow up because somebody wasn't paying attention or didn't put in, the necessary work to catch the shit that they needed to catch that you need to fix, after 8 o'clock, I'm not available, homie. Until 9, 10 in the morning, I'm not available, homie. Don't even look for me. Don't call for me. Don't do none of that. Erase me from your memory. Yes, it seems harsh at first, but once you lay down them rules and you make sure you don't deviate from them rules, people will start adhering to those rules. They will respect those rules because they know that they are infallible. You can't break them. So it takes discipline on your part not to break those rules. Because if you break them rules, then you basically saying, I don't give a fuck about my own rules. So why should they give a fuck? You know what I'm saying? So be careful out there. And specifically for the brown folks, there is a increased sort of social pressure to perform. Being brown, you're just naturally looked at in a different light. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is misconceptions about brown people, black people, and their work ethic out there. It makes no sense to me because it's absolutely not true. But we live in a white world, so that is the conception. And I know it is tempting to put in that extra work, to grind extra hard to prove yourself, but that is bullshit because your own personal life is way more important than your work life. Way more important. There is absolutely nothing you can tell me to prove me otherwise, to convince me otherwise. Because when that job disappears, what's left? Just you and your broke ass and your sad ass. So you might as well be happy working on yourself, making sure you are balanced as a human being before you even fucking worry about what's at work. You feel me? Whew. Okay, I just had to grab some water and calm down. And just after listening back to that last take, I was pretty heated. That memory brought up a lot of demons, a lot of anger. You know what I'm saying? The greasiness started bubbling in my guts. So let's flip the script. Let's do a little
Dope or dumb?
escape rooms. Dope or dumb? What do you think? Dope as a way to blow off steam for developers, or dumb as a way to blow off steam? Okay, so here's my argument. Dope, right? Because they're super fun. It's just like playing a video game. We're all working together on this puzzle. We're all trying to figure it out. It's fun. If you enjoy games, it's likely you're going to enjoy an escape room. It's also good for kind of getting the brain moving, shaking up your brain. You may have been doing mundane tasks all through production. You might be banging your head against a problem at work. You might be trying to figure out how to make this character pop or how to make this menu, feel vibrant or whatever the fuck you're trying to do. You go to an escape room, it kind of shakes your creative juices up because you might be taking in this puzzle and all of a sudden subconsciously you've come up with a solution to your idea, or subconsciously the setting that this escape room is taking place in jostles up some creative ideas in you, and now you're back on track. So that's cool. That's what's dope about escape rooms. But what's dumb about escape rooms is, for one, it's a bad way to kind of shift your thinking. It's not really relief if you're doing the same kind of stuff you'd be doing in the office. So we're all creative problem solvers, right? So we do that all day in the office, and we choose as dev relief to go solve creative problems somewhere else. That to me don't really even feel like relief. We just still working. Then the other negative is the social dynamics of the office. So if you're on a team with, let's say, some senior executive and a senior coder and the head of QA and a few veteran artists, and you're just, some plucky new starting QA person, when it comes time to solve a fucking problem, to solve the fucking puzzle, who the fuck you think they're gonna listen to? You? Hell fucking no, right? They're gonna listen to the executive because they're trying to impress her or him, and they're trying to schmooze or whatever. Or they're gonna listen to the other senior people who appear to be smarter than everyone else. Probably the coder / plumber, because they're gonna be the loudest voice in the room when it comes to solving problems. So it doesn't really break you. Doing escape rooms as dev relief doesn't really break you out of the social dynamic of the office. It doesn't allow you to kind of blossom and be in a different social space. So in terms of dev relief and blowing off steam, I think it kind of sucks in that regard. So, I don't know. What do y'all think? Escape rooms, are they dope? Are they dumb? Reach out to me, Greasy Says, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Let me know. And let me know why. If you enjoy that shit as relief, let me know why. And if you don't, let me know why. Some people wrote in. Some people have written in, and people keep writing in. I love that. Keep them coming. But I got a couple comments from way back that I forgot to get to, and some new ones. So the first one is, this listener says, that distinction between crunch and grind is so good. I always called it self-imposed crunch, but grind captures it way better. It doesn't mean grind can't still fuck you up, though. I learned that the hard way.
Preach.
This listener is absolutely right. Self-imposed crunch is a real thing. People do that to grind, to get ahead, to put in the work they need to do. And it can still fuck you up. So be careful out there when you're grinding and when you're crunching. Remember to take that time. Remember to make sure that work-life balance is mwah, chef kiss. So thank you for that comment. And another comment from way back. I don't even know when. This might have been on like episode 5 or some shit. But this listener write, listened to your podcast yesterday and really enjoyed it. It felt more like a show than a talky podcast, in quotes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is the point. I want this podcast to be more like a show. Music and fucking lights and shit. Even though you can't see the light. You know what I mean? I want it to be more entertaining than just a talky podcast. So thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it. A more recent comment comes from Twitter. It says, I usually listen to the show in the morning. I was so tuned into this episode that I forgot about getting my coffee. Your show was my coffee. I mean, you know what that means? That means my show can get you up and jumping in the morning. It give you that extra pep in your step. Any time of day or night. Anytime you need a pick-me-up, anytime you need a jolt, get yourself some Greasy Says today. Maybe I should start making coffee. It's like coffee, but there's mushrooms in it. So you get the pep in your stuff, but you're also tripping balls. Call it Greasy Brew or some shit. Greasy Beans. I don't know. It's a work in progress. Then I got another comment. Sorry to bring stuff up that you already talked about months ago, but you were just chatting about Dead Space. I don't even know which episode this is, so go back and find. I don't know which one it is, but I was talking about Dead Space, I guess. Anyway, but you were just talking about Dead Space, and it reminded me of this trailer I saw last week. It looks heavily influenced and inspired by Dead Space, at least from the cinematic trailer. And then there's a link to the Callisto Protocol. I haven't watched this trailer yet, so let's watch it together. Let's watch it real time. Okay, so far. All right. Is that a barcode on his neck? What is that? Look at the graphics, though. It's a trailer, though, so who gives a fuck? Whoa. Some sick sound design, no doubt. Very Dead Space. That's definitely going to be your life bar on the back of your neck, for sure. That's Dead Space, too. Some sort of malfunctioning robotic thing. Uh-oh. Alien vibes. Total alien vibes. Ah, vomit. So this is the vomit game. Callisto Protocol is the vomit game. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much Dead Space, it looks like. Well, from this trailer. And trailers, as we all know, don't mean shit. I'll keep an eye on it, though. I love these kind of games, so I'll definitely keep an eye on it. You guys have any thoughts on Callisto Protocol? Coming 2020... what? 2022? Right around the corner. Where does the time go? It's already time for some...
Medicate and meditate.
this week. We're walking a tightrope. Gotta keep balancing on this tightrope. Look to the left, look to the right. Look to the top, look to the bottom. Look to the left, look to the right. And balance on it. When that stress from the office is taking over your mind and you just can't get away, just close your eyes, my baby. My chocolate, ping, ping, pong. When you feel like checking your phone after hours, remember what Greasy said and balance on it, balance on it. Look to the left, look to the right. Look to the top, look to the bottom, and balance on it. Greasy say balance on it.
Wow. We're already at 40 minutes? That shit flew by like that. Holy shit. Yeah. Well, let me say thank you for tuning in to another episode of Greasy Says, my greasy people out there in the greasy metaverse. Maybe I'll make a coin. Maybe I'll make a cryptocurrency that's greasy bucks. Is that dumb or dope? You tell me. Thanks for listening to another episode, y'all. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing online. Thank you for all the love I'm getting. Thank you for the word of mouth. This shit is amazing. Let's keep growing this greasy population. Keep spreading the word of Greasy Says, all right? So reach out to me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under Greasy Says. You can find me on Twitter under M-Cue. You can find me on Bandcamp and Spotify under M-Cue. You can even go over to Soundcloud and check out my shit there under M-Cue. And I even got like an old school podcast on there, which is very offensive. You should not listen to it under any circumstances, called This Is Good For Me. Don't listen to it, but it does exist. Greasy people! Thanks for coming out. Subscribe, like, comment, give me feedback. Tell me
Tell him what?
to go fuck myself.
Huh?
To go fuck myself. What? To go fuck myself?
Yeah.
And until next time, it's me, Greasy. And I'm checking out with the room key. Laters!